back to right here on SportsGrid. Here's the deal about us doing this show and us. But this idiot Aaron Boone just got thrown out. I mean, who cares, buddy? Who cares? The Yankees had a guy bunt for a single, the 9-hitter, and he got thrown out at second base. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
This is the last time the Yankees bunted.
You know what?
Don't hear that often.
Turns out wasn't worth it because look at the end result. Look at the end result here. You know, this is what we get. Nevertheless, Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, it's in-game live. We're covering a whole gamut of things, but I do want to, weave in and out of some of these topics here.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to LeBron yet. That's one thing.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going.
I read your mind. And I got odds for it right here, too. Bet online. I'm not saying they're the only place that has odds, but we got odds for this for LeBron James' next team.
Before we get to the odds, the one thing I would like to tell people is there's a lot of people like, why hasn't this been done yet? And then there's people like, oh, of course he's not going to decide during the World Cup. You'll thank him. He doesn't decide during the World Cup when it's August 1st and there ain't much going on and we're able to still figure out where LeBron James is going. It seems to be down to 3 teams. I'm not sure that's the case, but what are the odds, Gabe, that you see there as far as it goes for LeBron?
Well, the common perception amongst the media and the so-called insiders is that it is down to 3 teams, and those 3 teams are the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and Philadelphia 76ers. I've always maintained I thought the Warriors were the best fit for him. But the odds right now are the Cleveland Cavaliers minus 150, Miami Heat plus 250, Golden State Warriors plus 400, Philadelphia 76ers plus 400, and then there's the big drop-off. San Antonio Spurs 16-1, Boston 18-1, Denver 20-1, Minnesota 20-1, Knicks 25, blah, 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 down the list, etc. I'll throw a question to you. We can I want to start at the bottom almost. Instead of focusing in, we can get into the nuances of why Cleveland or why Miami or why a Philadelphia or why not a Golden State. And I think financially is the Golden State issue. But is there an outsider here that I just said that you're like, man, it's pretty big odds and it wouldn't shock you if he ended up there? Just because the media is saying that there's 3 teams in the mix here doesn't mean that that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see San Antonio doing this, right? San Antonio, they already just said no to Kawhi. Boston, he's not going to Boston. He doesn't like Boston. Denver, Minnesota, him and Ant-Man, that's not bad.
I think Denver's on the board more than Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota maybe. I've
heard Denver sort of there, and I've heard Jokic is open to it too, right? You get Murray, James, you know what I mean? Jokic, you got something there,
Yeah, and I think you've got a situation where he does have some relationships there. When we talk about Denver, he's like buddies with one of the Cronkies, so there, he likes to keep the
that's a good business pipeline to have.
Open,
actually,
absolutely.
New connection with the Cronkies, Walmart.
He likes that.
A lot of stuff. Yeah,
100%. Right? It matters.
Does he want to live in Denver for the year? Does he like Denver?
Do you think he'll struggle to find a place in Denver that he would like to be in? I don't think so. You know what I mean?
He can
I
live
understand
in the rich ski part, whatever. Yeah.
I don't think that would be an issue.
It's a picture of him and his family, on the slopes and skis and stuff, all smiles.
That would be something like Nuggets fans are like, you got to be kidding me. We got the version of LeBron that goes skiing. We got
don't go skiing, LeBron. You're 40 years old. Don't go skiing. Yeah, you're one injury away. But is there is that the dark horse? Anyone else? That is kind of the dark horse, right?
Because you pointed out, I actually think Boston would be a fun fit, but I don't think he's going to do that to his Laker legacy. He kind of the exit worked enough, Gabe. They're not that mad at him. You know who Laker fans are mad at people like me who keep telling them that they need to appreciate LeBron, but they're not mad at LeBron. They're like,
they wanted him gone, to be honest. Yeah, they're kind of happy.
I think a lot of them did, which is obviously so silly, and they have no idea what they had, which is why I wanted him to leave. But
And now they're a new version of Duke.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. And every joke that comes their way is deserved. I'll just say that.
Reeves, Doncic,
Luka, Kessler. Yeah, Jake LaRavia.
They did bring in a couple of brothers at least to calm down Stephen A. Smith. They brought in Quentin Grimes. Who's the other signing? No. You know what? The other one too. Yeah. The other one. I don't mind what the Clippers are doing. Actually, Clippers. They have a fun little roster, I think. But as far as LeBron, to me, it makes the most sense. Golden State. You stay in California. San Francisco's beautiful, dude. Like, he can live in the richest parts of America. Like, that's going to be nice for him. The family, whatever. He's close to L.A. still. It's Northern Cal, South Cal, but, like, close to L.A. I can't stop thinking, Kevin, about the Olympics. And who was it that saved the United States' ass against France? LeBron and Curry.
Yeah.
The vets. Is it ideal? I'm not saying they're taking a league over, but why? If you're LeBron, why? Like, you've already done this Cleveland thing. Like, you really think you're putting the Cavs over the top? Like, whatever, dude. You want to live in, like, there's not enough positives to me. Miami, him and Giannis, that's not good enough. They'll be terrible. Like, why you want to relive that? Philadelphia, really? You want to grind through the East like this, LeBron, every night and get beat up by the Celtics, Knicks, Raptors, and Kawhi, everybody? Like, Golden State makes the perfect sense to me, Kevin.
So
plus 400.
I think Golden State.
Draymond, LeBron, Curry, they go at it. And they're trying to get rid of Butler and everything, right? So,
yeah, here's the thing. They have to do the Anthony Davis trade or he's not going.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah. If they do the AD
they don't
trade,
have the money. They don't have the money.
They have to trade. They have to send picks and Jimmy Butler to do the swap, and it works. And
I saw Curry basically saying, like, insinuating that, yeah, I'd love LeBron, and I don't know if you saw it. He goes, LeBron's earned the right to make his choice, and he has to make it for his own reasons. Yeah. In other words, we don't have $48 million, like, to pay him. Like, I mean, he wants to play here. We can work something out, right?
Steph isn't really the recruiter. Like, he'll get on the phone, but Draymond's at LeBron's house. He's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like,
I know I kicked you in the balls like 8 years ago, but man, it'd be good if we played together. I love that.
But we're best friends now, so let's go hang out. And
I don't know. You love how it's coming together, though. If that happened and Kawhi's back on the Raptors, like, all right, it was a mistake. I'm back. Here we are. let's reset this. And then we end up with like a Raptor Warrior final again, right? But
can I tell you
from
one
a betting
element
perspective,
that you mentioned?
You're
Cleveland,
the LeBron
Gabe.
fan. I follow him, but you're his fan per se. But for me, I think it's a good fit with Golden State, and I think for the odds, Kevin, at plus 400. But I don't know if
as a LeBron fan.
Like, where do you think he goes? Where do you think he's going to go? Why Miami?
As a LeBron fan.
What's the point?
Can I tell you why? Not Golden, because LeBron fans think he could have won about 3 other championships if Durant didn't join Golden State. So please don't go join Golden State. I've had to listen to Steph Curry fans tell me that he's better than LeBron for 10 years.
And you're a LeBron fan. You can't jump on the Golden State wagon now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's going to make me leave with 2 years to go. I can't do it. I can't do that.
I can really see him in a Warrior jersey, too. It just makes sense, Kevin.
I can do almost anywhere. He goes to the Raptors, and they're going to – I'll tell you this right now. They cancel the show. They go, Kevin and Gabe has spent 2 hours every night talking Raptors. This doesn't work, right? I could do anything pretty much.
I totally flipped, Kevin. Somebody did a GIF of LeBron in a Raptor jersey, and I said, you know what? I'm open to this. Like, I was like, he loves Toronto, too. He loves the city of Toronto.
They still had Masai. That would help actually a lot, which is a shame.
I don't think him and Kawhi are buddies.
No. All right, guys, we're back in the right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. We're joined by Rob Donaldson, man, friend of the program, always comes in. Great talk at Major League Baseball. Rob, I want to start with this. Yankees being shut out by McClanahan right now. Is it wrong if they just give Aaron Judge AL MVP again? I mean, I'm watching the Yankees on a nightly basis. His case has never been stronger. Somehow. Oh, you don't like it, Gabe? Come on. What are you doing?
Oh, man.
The Astros are terrible.
I like Junior Canyonero coming into the year, too. He has big odds, man. Son of a bitch, I knew it. But sorry, Rob. Go on.
He homers every night. But I'm just saying, Rob, this Yankees team are missing Judge pretty bad.
I'll say this, and when we were off the screen, Kevin was just like, I've got a great question for you, and he hits me with his immediate Aaron Judge propaganda. No, but I totally get it. I totally get it because, I mean, this Yankees lineup without Aaron Judge in it, it's on par, probably below the Royals. I mean, the Royals just put up 16 runs yesterday. They've got one of the worst lineups in all of baseball without Aaron Judge at the center of it, and Ben Rice has been playing better as of late, but as a whole, I mean, whether it's Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, insert any Yankee here, just not a lot of good hitting going on. And even Garrett Cole is a little bit over the hill right now is kind of what it feels like. So they're in a tough spot, just long term here.
Listen, they made it to the World Series 2 years ago, but in my opinion, as a non-Yankee fan, Cashman hasn't adapted to modern baseball, Kevin, properly. Like, it's the same roster all the time, aging players, bad hitters, lack of team speed, bad defense. Your boy Aaron Judge carries it.
Great.
Yeah, and somehow, their offense gets there. But, on SportsGrid, we like to talk about all the markets, so I'm going to talk about a team that no one talks about too much. I'll ask Rob about the LA Dodgers.
Yes.
The LA Dodgers, and, But all kidding aside, Rob, Sasaki going tonight. And everything the Dodgers touch turns to gold, except him, right? Now, he stepped up in the World Series and a relief role. But, guys, if you look back right now at his last 4 starts, 7 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs. I mean, he's flammable. He's a gas can right now. I personally think, why not just admit it and say, listen, we'll make him a closer. Put him in the bullpen, like whatever, like set up, whatever. We already paid him. It is what it is, and he was good at it. And what's your take on Sasaki? Unbettable tonight? Are you, curious to see how this plays out? Because a decision is going to have to be made with him, Rob, by the Dodgers soon.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at Sasaki, even on, you mentioned the surface numbers. When you look under the hood at Sasaki's hard hit percentages, it doesn't get better, right? So it's almost like he takes the bump, and if you don't have like the Chase Burns, Jacob Mizorowski mix, but you're that power pitcher of some really crazy movement or some really crazy velocity, if you're a power pitcher in this modern day, I mean, you're kind of on the line of like Sasaki or like a Kevin Gausman that we're seeing this year kind of get tagged up. Just some really good guys who have, stuff that would have played 10 years ago, but isn't really playing today. I think that's just who Roki Sasaki is. And ultimately, when he's taking the bump for the big branded Dodgers, who are, the best team in baseball, it's that open fade line of, hey, you're getting inherent value betting on the other side in some capacity, especially with a Rockies team that the last 2 nights were playing better baseball than the Dodgers. So I actually do really like the Rockies tonight in a lot of different ways.
So give us an idea, Rob, because I think that's fascinating, right? Like you can even hear it in Gabe's breakdown. Well, the Dodgers are, they're closer to minus 300 than 200, right? Like, how do you play Colorado in this spot?
Yeah, no, I think what you do is you take the first 5 money line and, worst comes to worst, maybe it's like a 5-5 game. You just get your money back, but you also get the crack at really that plus money that you had just mentioned. I think that's probably the best bargain in that game. I would also look at the team total over for the Rockies here because the last couple nights, the Rockies offense hasn't really looked alive, but Mickey Moniak with him back in the lineup. I mean, this is a formidable Rockies lineup now when you factor in Cole Carrig coming up, when you factor in Hunter Goodman on top of Mickey Moniak, and really just a lot of young, unknown pieces that are really lacing baseballs right now. I tend to think that there could be multiple home runs from the Rockies early. So go ahead and take that team total over, whether it's through the first 5 frames or full game, and I think you're going to really like yourself after tonight.
one thing I'll just say with the Dodgers quickly, and look, I know it is funny we're talking about these big market teams, but this is another one of the World Cup is distracting. The Dodgers feel like it's not like everything's clicking, and they have 30 better run differential than anybody else. First team
they're
to
even better than we
wins.
thought they were going to be, Kevin, with the wins. Let's be real.
They're just but Gabe, they're not I don't know if anybody would be like, oh, they look unbeatable. They're just slowly kind of dominating the schedule, right? Are you seeing the same
Blake
thing?
Snell still? Yeah, they didn't know what about Blake Snell, Rob? Blake Snell still. But we know, Rob, right? You get to the playoffs and anything can happen, and we all know this, but I don't know, like Kevin said, and I'm a diehard Dodger fan. This, to me, they can flick the switch, guys. They know it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think this is the best team, actually. As crazy as it sounds. Once we get to the playoffs, who beats them in the National League? Who's, and every year people tell me it's the Brewers, well, because of the pitching that they have, but they don't hit in the playoffs, Rob, right? So I always fear the Braves the most, personally.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's the team that eventually becomes the aggressive buyer in the NL, because the aggressive buyer at every single trade deadline the past few years has been the Dodgers, which really doesn't help the case of those other teams who are just like, you know what, maybe this isn't our window. Let's hold off for a year. That's been the notion of a lot of these teams. We saw it with the Cubs last year. They were in a really good spot, in my opinion, and they just sat on their hands. I'm very curious to see
what about the Nationals, Rob? Me and Kevin were just talking about the Nationals and their youth movement. Do they bring in a pitcher or two? And that really could shake things up and scare some people if they got some pitching.
Yeah, bullpen is their biggest issue, and it's the easiest to fix, right? You can throw out one prospect and get back two decent relievers, and all of a sudden your bullpen has a different trajectory than it did, prior day. And also, when you look at the Nationals in terms of the minor league system, they're deep with pitching. So we could see some of those AAA guys get called up and affect the rotation. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world.
Rob, man, we appreciate you checking in. Have a great night. We'll be right back. The Game Live on SportsGrid. All right, guys, back to the right here on SportsGrid. And baseball board kind of still rocking and rolling here a little bit, and, I will say, I wonder where you land on this, Gabe. I think I kind of know. I'll put it a different way. Are you hoping the Dodgers land Tariq Skubal at the deadline?
You know what? I'm not hoping for it, but I'm not opposed to welcoming him to the ball club. I don't really care about the backlash that would happen after. I would, fine. But I don't think they're going to do it personally. I don't think the Dodgers will be in the mix for Skubal. I think they're going to see the injury concern. Guys, the Dodgers don't like doing big long-term deals, to be honest with you. Like, they really have to really, really like you to do it. And, the Dodgers also, to make agents happy, though, Kevin, they'll play the game, right? Because if you want, you want to sign player X, there's an agent that represents 20 guys. You can't say no all the time to an agent, right? It's like the entertainment business. Like, if you're a concert promoter, you don't just get the Metallica show. No, you get all the other 20, 80 bands on the label that you don't want to book. And then you get to make the money when you get Metallica. So the Dodgers will play the game. And you'll notice every time there's a big-time free agent, like Soto is a good example, Kevin. Dodgers never really went after Soto. They met him, right? They met him, and they offered him a short-term deal, right? They did the same thing with Bryce Harper, if you remember at the time. They told Harper, we'll make you the first $50 million a year player in the game. We'll give you $50 million a year, 3 years, $150 million. And he kind of got insulted. And they were like, all right, well, that's that. We offered you, right? They were like, no, we're not offering you a 9-year deal. They don't do it. They did it with Ohtani. Bets they traded for. I'm just saying, look at Seager. Come on, bro, Corey Seager. The Dodgers let Corey Seager walk. They were like, we're not giving you a 7-year contract. We're not going to do it. Right? I don't think.
And Shohei? Is that it?
I don't think the Dodgers will bend over for Skubal. I think they would be like, yeah, we could trade. We have the prospects and we'll do it. But we're not going to roll over to these demands and give him $600 million for a pitcher whose arm's going to fall off. No, I don't think they're in the mix. Where do you think Skubal? We talked about LeBron. Where do you think he ends up? How many teams? And you talked about it. We have a collective bargaining agreement thing coming up. We have a major thing.
Yeah.
And guys, anytime you have a big prize item like this, the market is small. The market is small. Owners talk a big game. They don't want to pay them. Skubal wants real money. $385 million, $450 million, whatever, real money. Who's going to step up and do it? What teams? Your Yankees aren't.
Here's what I can't figure out.
Steinbrenner ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. The Phillies, maybe? The Braves, maybe? Maybe?
The return the Tigers need will determine how many teams are involved.
That's what I'm saying, Kevin, because you get bit twice. You get pinched for 5 top prospects, and then I got to deal with Boris or whatever and $490 million. No. It's too much to deal with. You know what I mean?
If you pay for a mega rental, okay, but that keeps things open. If you're
and it's true. If Skubal says, yeah, let's all go there, I can't promise, but okay, I'll pitch for the rest of the year, whatnot. Okay, fine. Yeah. Then you can live. We'll give them and Expos used to do that, right? Let's bring Bartolo Colon in. Whatever happens, happens. And we'll see what happens, right? I can live with that, but the Tigers are going to get roasted for not getting a lot back for him. So they're going to need a hell of a lot back, and then it's one of those. Well, you got to give me a contract extension. That's why he's getting traded in the first place.
But I'll say for the Tigers, what I think will save a bit of face is he got injured, and the immediate thought was, oh my God, he's done for the year. They're going to get nothing for him. He's going to leave in the offseason. Their season fell apart, and now they know they're getting something, which is why, It's a little underrated that the Detroit Tigers, who had top 3 odds for the American League, trading Tariq Skubal is a foregone conclusion.
Did his reputation take a hit? Because to me it did with the World Baseball Classic stuff too. I don't think it will with a team, though.
Until he gets traded. When he gets traded, it'll feel dangerous. You're like, whoa, look at that uniform. Like, but right now, it's just all kind of niche. Where is Tariq Skubal going on Kalshi, the prediction market? I have 6 teams at 15% or better. So I'll start at the bottom. The 3 teams under 20%. Philadelphia is at 15%. The Mets are at 15%. And the Yankees are at 19%, Gabe.
It's ridiculous.
The Mets.
Well, that's Kalshi's not a real sports book, though, right?
Hold on. I got 3 more above that. All right. Atlanta, 22%.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, 36%. And then, and this is where, to Gabe's point, like, you know, the percentages kind of don't equal 100. It equals like 600, but never mind. Milwaukee at the top at 59%, it says right now, to land Tariq Skubal, which, seems a little off the, but seems like the Brewers are maybe in the leading clubhouse here.
From a baseball perspective, it'd be lethal, it'd be dangerous, but Brewers already have really good pitching. They could use a bat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you right now, the Milwaukee Brewers ownership group will not do this. It sounds sexy on paper, right? They won't do it. They're going to have to pay them. They will not pay them. The Brewers don't make enough money. They like their operation. They're like a middle of the tier. They spend in the middle. They're not going to add $500 million to their payroll. Point blank. So dismiss them. For me, Kevin, I'm being real here from a Dodger fan perspective, thinking oh God, no, don't do this. And I think this is an organization that does spend money and is very aggressive.
And need him.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Ooh, that's not who I thought you were going to say. I thought you were
Philadelphia
going to say Atlanta.
Phillies. Well, Atlanta's right there, but I don't think Atlanta want the contract. I don't think Atlanta want the contract. I don't think Philadelphia cares about the contract. I think Philadelphia want to be the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are in their way. Right? Like, the Philadelphia have signed all the free agents and the stars they can. They just hasn't worked out or this or that, and they got close. Like, and it's kind of fading a little bit, I find, with them. You know what I mean? Like, did their window close? Not close, Kevin, but Trey Turner, we go on. Like, Schwarber, Harper, whatever, dude. You got a freaking all-star team. Your catcher, like, whatever. You signed everybody. Like, let's call it out for what it is. Like, you want to bitch about the Dodgers? The Phillies have signed everybody. Right? Like, if they don't go to L.A., they go to Philadelphia. And I don't think they're done trying yet. Skubal could help put them over the top. If you're the Phillies, Kevin, you think about it. You get Skubal, you're like, all right, we get into the effing playoffs. We got Skubal at least twice on the hill against the Dodgers here.
You go Skubal Wheeler, right? Like, that's the dream scenario. Chris Sanchez, too, who just got lit.
Like, he would put them over the top. Like, it would, like, be like, okay. And listen, speaking of the Braves, I thought it was a home run, but it looks like a double for the Braves. Scoreless game here still, but baseball-wise, the Brewers would be great. It makes sense. And the Braves, all this team. But to me, I think the Phillies are the biggest threat. I think the Dodgers, I'm not going to dismiss the Dodgers, but I think the Phillies are the threat. And, like, would a Seattle, Kevin, even though they've been reluctant to sort of spend big, big money, but they're knocking on the door right now of, like, I'm throwing it out there. Seattle, what are Seattle's odds?
But you know what, Gabe? I got to tell you, as we talk through it, it does sound like it might just end up the Dodgers. Because the Dodgers,
have...
Let's be
Kevin,
real.
I was going to say, sorry. They have 11 of the top 50 prospects in baseball, guys. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. If the Dodgers... But, Gabe, let's be real. If you bring in Skubal and you lose him in free agency, nobody cares. You're not going to panic.
Because they're going to sign someone else if they wanted to after. Be like, we'll sign this guy. Yeah.
You also don't need him exactly, right? Like, in a way, like, he'd be great for this season because the health is always a question for everybody else.
In a way. Because, honestly, it sounds crazy. The Tigers will be the ones calling more than other teams. Right? Like, it's a limited market, guys. Like, baseball owners are cheap. That's why we're going to be getting a lockout. They don't want this. So... how many guys are lining up before they're all colluding to shut the league down and saying, I'm going to give him $500 million? And the Dodgers are going to be like Kevin just said, we don't need him. All right, what do you want? Like, you know what I mean? If you're your Dodgers, you can be nonchalant about it, Kevin. All right, Detroit, like, who do you like on what prospects are you guys looking at anyways? And then right away you got Detroit by the balls. Like, you're in control of the situation. You know what I mean? Well, we like this guy. Well, and you'll notice the Dodgers never miss on this, Kevin. How many of the star prospects they trade ever turn out? They always win these trades. Like, I wouldn't even want to deal with the Dodgers. I'd be like, they're going to give us these big prospects, and they're going to keep the ones that they know are good.
But let's be real. I just pulled it up, Gabe. And again, whatever. I'm sure these things are all different, but it's just MLB.com. The Dodgers have 3 kids in the top 20. If the Dodgers give up...
Yeah, so one of those is like a prize thing for teams in trading. Yeah, you're getting a top 20 prospect. Yeah.
So basically, and I'm not saying they will, but if the Dodgers go, you know what? You can get not the best kid, because the best kid's like 4th. You can get the other 2 kids. And if somebody beats that, then we don't want him anyway. And you know what'll probably happen? No one's going to beat that. That's probably what happens. No one's going to beat
the combination of the prospects and the money to sign him after. That's the key.
But here's one of the reasons I initially brought it up. The Dodgers got all this heat when they brought in Tucker. And the season begins and some of it dies down. They bring in Skubal. It doesn't matter if it's perception's reality, Gabe.
Oh, hell is going to break loose.
It's done. They might cancel the season on the day of the deadline.
And part of me almost doesn't want it. It's almost like the Balogun suspension.
That's why I asked you.
I'd be almost like, dude, like, we don't need this, and I don't, whatever, dude. It's enough.
You can
win without
I don't want.
But the Dodgers don't care about public perception. They don't care. So they're not going to do this thinking, we don't want the heat. As a fan, I'm going to get the heat.
Yes. But the Dodgers have embraced the heat.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts got on the microphone. I quite frankly thought it was going to curse the Dodgers.
Well, they're not going to apologize for trying to win. Yeah, they're not going to apologize for trying to win.
So, you end up in a situation like this, and it just...
And also, if you're the Phillies or the Braves, you got to ask yourself, do we really want to let this happen? Like, okay, like if you're the Phillies or the Braves, you're thinking, yeah, the Dodgers are favorites against us, but we could beat them in a series. Dude, like, even like if you ask Bryce Harper after a couple of drinks in a hotel bar, like off the record, yeah, if the Dodgers get schooled, what do you think? He'll tell you, dude, just give him the trophy.
Yeah.
He'd be like Erling Haaland. Yeah, France is going to win it all anyways, right?
They might say, okay, you know what? We can do this, right? We can really do this now. If we throw Wheeler, Sanchez, Skubal,
yes,
we can beat those guys. If we throw Sale, Skubal, and let's just say Strider's healthy for Atlanta, we can beat those guys, right?
So it's up to the other teams to man up and want to win.
It is, right? But you also end up in situations, Gabe, where if Skubal starts playing this, yeah, you can trade for me, but I already have an idea where I want to play next offseason. Guys cook the books all the time. There's a reason Giannis is in Miami and not Charlotte or Atlanta.
I also want to bring something up. Skubal has said negative things about LA before. I think Skubal has said, I don't want to be a Dodger even, but that would change quickly after a deal, right? And everyone would be...
Second, $500 million.
Listen, like I said, I thought I sort of said it properly when I said, I'll welcome him, but I'm not dying to get him. Because I know it'll be like, oh, God, here we go again, right? I got to listen to all these losers complain about the Dodgers.
You would have a lot more fun betting and rooting against Skubal when he's pitching against the Dodgers in the playoffs than betting on
I could tell people to shut up and say, look, they got Skubal, shut up. What do you want? Like...
Older players in the WNBA going, hey man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too, but yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like we said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
right here on SportsGrid in-game live. So much to get to on a Wednesday night. And, it's funny because it's all just going to come in a wave. We're going to have the World Cup back tomorrow. We're going to talk some more World Cup. I'm sure Gabe's already looked at some of those numbers.
France, Morocco tomorrow.
I know. But Saturday, along with a couple of World Cup games, you do get the return of Conor McGregor, which leads to the return of, if we're going to get in debate, it's fine. A lot of people who don't regularly watch the UFC showing up to watch and bet the UFC.
The mainstream, the casuals are back.
Okay, good. So okay, good. I understand he's not who he was, but he still is a big deal. He's main eventing the pay-per-view, right? So what do you make, Gabe, of, by the way, as obviously you're well aware, but just to the audience, a rematch, a fight we actually many, many years ago saw much different. I mean, hard to even imagine the way that fight went. McGregor, Holloway, 2 now on deck.
Unbelievable, Kevin, that fight was 13 years ago. I almost cried when I saw that. When I read that, they faced off 13 years ago, and I was like, no, that was 7 years ago. No, that was 5 years ago, right? No, I knew it wasn't 5, but I was like, oh my God, 13 years. Hard to believe Conor's been around this long, but as Kevin stated, there's a lot to unpack here. It is a rematch. Number one, Max Holloway was 22, 23 years old at the time when he fought Conor McGregor. He had a couple of fights under his belt in the UFC, but he was a very talented young Hawaiian kid that they knew could handle himself. And he hung with Conor. That was Conor McGregor's prime, right? Conor was in his prime at the time, coming up right around, beating Aldo in that era, and then fame ruined Conor and changed him as a fighter and as a person. So now the script has been flipped, and Conor's coming back. Hasn't won a fight since 2020 when he beat Cowboy Cerrone, which was kind of a curtain puller fight for him. Yeah, Kevin, and I'm not saying this is a negative thing about Conor. I'm just saying you can make it. And Eddie Alvarez, okay, whatever, he's a brawler, but you can make an argument. The last time that Conor won a big fight, he beat Jose Aldo. I'm going to call it out for what it is.
No,
Eddie
that's
Alvarez,
unfair.
okay.
He beat Nate Diaz. There was a lot on the line.
Okay,
he became a double champ against Eddie. I understand.
Diaz can't even beat Jake Paul. I'm just being real here.
I understand what you mean. I understand.
I follow MMA closely, as you know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm following this closely.
But this is also my era, right? Anything
I know, you're right.
The Irishman.
Two losses to Poirier. 2 losses to Poirier. Ass kicking to Khabib.
Yeah.
But he is the biggest star in the history of the UFC. He's not the best fighter in the history of the UFC, Conor, but he is the biggest star in the history. I'm not going to dispute this.
Yeah.
So now coming back, Kevin, I give Conor credit in a sense of this is a bad fight to take against a dude that you beat already, that's a brawler, that's a scrapper. You're a 100 millionaire now. You're not as hungry anymore. I don't think Conor really cares, Kevin, to be honest with you. Conor McGregor owns he's a co-owner of BKFC now, Bare Knuckles. This thing's taken off. Conor knows when he fights in Bare Knuckles, dear God, that's going to be big. Fighting in the UFC, he's already done it, and he's not the best at it. Bare Knuckles is different. There's a lot of former UFC guys and guys in their early 40s and stuff. Think about the pop he's going to get. And the difference is he'll get the money, Kevin. He owns the damn company. He's just trying to get through his UFC deal here right now. That's why he agreed to fight Holloway. Now, Conor is so popular, guys. If you like Conor McGregor, take him now. Right? On Saturday, every casual fan and realizes, Conor's back tonight. They're going to take Conor as the underdog. There's been some big money bets that coming in on Holloway as of late. Like last night, there was a $100,000 bet at Bet Online that came in on Holloway. So this is going to be a pro versus Joe market. The Joes are all going to take Conor all day on Saturday, and the pros are going to be waiting and seeing if the max. I mean, this opened up at minus 350, minus 375 territory. It hit minus 200 at some spots earlier in the week. Seems to be creeping up a little bit, minus 213s and stuff like that around. Conor will be dangerous, Kevin, for the first round. The first few minutes, he is ripped, he is in shape, but he hasn't fought in a long time, and you can't replicate that. Holloway's impossible to knock out. So I don't really see, like, Connor's in trouble. Like, you know, I don't know, like, Max is going to dance around a little bit. He's going to pepper him with some shots. He's going to get Connor into the third round. Connor's going to get tired, and Max is just going to rack up a bunch of points on him. I love the over 2.5 in this fight. Now, Connor had taken the training seriously, but then I see him do an interview today, Kevin, in which he's talking about how he would beat John Jones in a fight, and Khabib sucks, and it's like, dude, are you doing coke again? I thought you were off the coke. Like, you know what I mean? He can't help that persona almost. It's like, dude, you're going to get your ass kicked on Saturday. Don't worry about, like, ripping Khabib again and going backwards in time. Like, but then I kind of clued in, Kevin, that, yeah, he doesn't care. Like, he knows he's going to lose, and he's going to try to knock him out. He's going to try to swing for the fences early. Holloway's going to wear him out. Holloway's going to win the fight, in my opinion. And I don't think Conor cares. He's going to make money. He's trying to get out of the UFC and get back to his own world and run the BKFC and own it and all that type of stuff. But I think Holloway wins, and I think we wait because the public will start to bet on Conor, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable. I do think, how would you say, $100 movement does say that they did misprice the fight initially, because it wasn't a bunch of Joe bettors moving this number months out, right? Like, they did misprice it at almost, you know, you're almost minus 375. We're now minus 215.
Yeah, it was a big, but it's one of those people in the fight game kind of roll their eyes at this and think there's not a hope in hell that, like, if you read MMA websites, and all these websites always have, you know, oh, pros pick the fight, right? And they're not good at it. You and I talk about this, Kevin. Because you're a pro athlete at a sport doesn't mean you're a good bettor at it, or you could pick winners at it, right? And most of them always pick the guy they train with. Oh, I met him. He was cool. I trained with him once. And, like, yeah, it's always the same thing. But the real analysts, guys, and fighters, guys, there's really not a lot of pathways for Conor to win this. Unless he just cracks Max in the first round somehow, which Max never gets knocked out.
Yeah, he's been knocked out. I know there's the Topuria one. I don't know if that's the only time he's been knocked out in his career. That's not really usually the path to beating Max Holloway. We'll be right back.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like, after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf. Like you said, like, he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. You know, this guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
All right, guys, back right here on Sports Grid. We were just talking a little bit about, McGregor going this weekend, and Holloway I'm seeing right now on one book.
Hey, the Paddy Pimblett's a good fight too, Kevin. Sort of the new Connor type of thing. You got Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis.
Plus 114 on Paddy Pimblett. Sandhagen's fighting. So you got a couple of guys.
Another good fight. I like both dogs, Kevin, just for the record. I think Paddy Pimblett and another one. I don't like. I find these dudes annoying. They come over and they just talk and like they get known because they got the accent and whatever. And Pimblett was sort of given, like, Connor paved the way for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we can make money off of Paddy because it's money, right? The British and the Irish fans are diehards. They come and they go to the fights. But Pimblett's kind of earned my respect. He is a very, very good fighter. Benoit Saint Denis is a badass, and something that Saint Denis said kind of stuck out to me this week when he said, at first I thought it was a letdown fighting Paddy Pimblett, that I should have been fighting someone better. That's not something to say. Like, it's like, dude, like, really? Pimblett just went, like, the distance with Gaethje, bro. So, and let's be real. I don't like MMA math about, well, that guy did this against that guy, and it's all styles make fights, but it's hard not to respect Pimblett after what we just saw Gaethje do to Taporia, right? Like, Pimblett's got a jaw, so you're not cracking Pimblett, and Pimblett's got a good takedown game. Pimblett's good on the ground for a usually Brits, Irish, Scots, etc. They're not good wrestlers. They don't wrestle. Pimblett's actually good at it, Kevin. Like, he's got a good ground game and jiu-jitsu game that normally the Brits don't have.
I got to say, though, Gabe, I was just scrolling through the prelims, and it's, listen, for me, more casual, hey, what names do I know? It's like, oh, okay, Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, sure, Cody Garbrandt. Gable Stevenson jumps off the page.
Glad you brought it up.
So then I go, okay, I was like, I don't know what these numbers are going to be.
In his debut. Biggest favorite ever in a UFC debut for Gable Stevenson.
Minus 4,000. What is your takeaway on this Gable Stevenson number? For anybody who doesn't know, he's an all-time great wrestler. All-time college great wrestler. Which is why
I see him at 30-1 right now.
Okay.
So 30-1, guys, minus 3,000. That's just like insanity. You bet $300 on Gable Stevenson, you win $10.
Is he
like
really...
to me, I want to take the underdog almost, just out of like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, Gable's I don't care. It's 11-1. You put $100 down, I'm getting $1,200 back, right? Like, if the guy wins the fight. It would be one of the biggest upsets ever for, as Kevin stated, Gable Stevenson, one of the most decorated collegiate wrestlers ever. His resume is, we'll go over his resume here. I mean, he is sort of the dreams kind of MMA guy that, the kind of the modern Brock Lesnar. Gable Stevenson, American freestyle wrestler. Stevenson was a 2020 Olympic gold medalist. Was also a three-time age group world champion. Oh yeah, Kevin. He's only a gold medalist and a two-time NCAA Division I champion.
But can I tell you what's throwing?
There's levels to this.
Like,
he's basically Brock Lesnar. I'll put it this way. Like, except more decorated career than Brock. Also, though, Minnesota, right? Like Minnesota.
Wrestling, yeah. But, gosh, and listen, I don't really care if I sound like... I'm a little surprised that he's knocking people out.
Well, this is what... That's good, though, that he's already added this to his repertoire, right? Because he'll always have the wrestling, but people are going to challenge him standing up, right? And if technically you can get everybody down, Kevin, until you can't. Right? Guys in the UFC that don't wrestle aren't all didn't just get off the turnip truck. Like, they know how to defend a takedown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they know once I'm down, I'm screwed. So they're good at not getting down. And he's so good, whatever. And they call it shooting, like in wrestling. Like, he shoots in, you're screwed. What are you going to do? I mean, the guy's an Olympic gold medalist. Like, we talk about levels in a World Cup. Like, how are you going to be on that level if he wants to get you on the ground? You're going on the ground. But he wants to show... Because everyone says with these, he's a wrestler, but he can't punch. I'm going to punch him in the face. See how he wrestles after that. But the thing is with Stevenson, he reluctantly did this, guys. He wanted to be a WWE wrestler because there was real money and he didn't want to get punched. He had no charisma. Then he played for the Buffalo Bills. He didn't make the team. He's here in the UFC out of default right now.
Yes. I'm glad you said it. Yes, that is true. You're right.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Sileo. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
like,
on
stop
the
jumping.
Turf. He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
All right, guys, back right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. One more hour of in-game live coverage will be right here on SportsGrid. But we are also back tomorrow for World Cup coverage. France, Morocco, huge deal. And I'll tell you, here's one of the tough elements about these games. All these teams have quality attack. All these teams have quality defenses. So, you think to yourself, all right, like,
you know where I'm going with this.
I know what you're doing with every game. France under 3.5, Spain under 4.5, England under 3.5. I know.
No. But maybe let's look at the games here just quickly. Look, so you got France, Morocco. I ain't running to my computer here to click the over of this game. I'll tell you that. Like, Morocco are going to play on the back foot here. They're really hard to score on Morocco.
But they get shut out. Like Morocco.
Yeah, but
they
scored one on Brazil. Okay, the three against Canada, a little bit deceptive. I thought your empty net reference was a fair one, a good one.
Yeah.
Against good teams, though, Kevin. All right, they scored one against Brazil. They struggled to score against Scotland, 1-0. The Haiti game, same thing. Like, it wasn't. Morocco can score. They got quality. They got finish. Like, they got stud players on their team that can finish when they get the chance. I don't know how many chances they're going to get against France. And France is going to dial this the F up right now, right? This is getting real now. We're into the quarterfinals, so you're going to get the real France team. I'm thinking 2-0 France, 1-0 type thing. Like, I don't think they're going to roll them. 3 is a little like Norway, England. I mean, I don't know. Erling Haaland finds a way all the time. I'll say this about this one. I almost, Kevin, we'll keep it simple. Whatever, dude. It'll be 1-1 after 90, and Holland and Kane will both score. Like, it's almost like the sportsbook's nightmare of this game that it writes itself. First goal, Kane. First game, Holland. Either way, you win. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot in Bellingham you can sprinkle in here. But Argentina, Switzerland, I'll ask you, which of these 4 games do you think there could be goals? And I would say maybe Spain, Belgium opened up.
So the England-Norway total is the highest of the 4. And that is, I'm between either that or the France game. Spain,
the under's
Belgium,
plus money, which surprises me in the England-Norway. You're getting plus 110 to the under 2.5.
Because every Norway game has 3 goals in it.
I know. In England, I like the under against Mexico, and there were 5 goals.
And the Croatia game had 6.
Which makes no sense, Kevin. You've watched England play. It doesn't make sense. Like, who's betting the over?
England
listen,
are a
that's why I'm
team
saying
when they play quality sides. Their defense is not. It doesn't hold up.
No, you're right.
That game. We've
seen
it.
I know. They leave Pickford to dry.
That's why I think they're on the ropes. I'll tell you the one thing I noticed going through some early numbers, and I was like, you know what will be cute? Norway plus a goal and a half, minus 270. I'm like, oh gosh. I was like, Belgium plus
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the goal and a half.
It's gonna be for me. Like, it's going to be very funny when we leave France, Morocco, and I don't celebrate. Like, I didn't win any money. I just got to tomorrow. Like, it's a lot of plus 1.5 from me.
I know, but for me, I'm almost the opposite here. So this is how I roll with this. I'm going chalk here. So let's add this up. All right. France, Kevin, plus half a goal. France plus half a goal.
Okay.
England plus half a goal. So let's just see here. So, like, if it's tied, we go to 90. I've already got the bet in the back pocket. All right, so we're at 250 right now. I need one more. Can Switzerland do this? Can Switzerland beat Argentina?
You know what's annoying about that game? That's the one game that I'm like, all right, I'll step up, bet the under. Books are like, yep, we knew you wanted to, minus 150. It's driving me nuts.
Isn't it? There could be goals in this, though. You thought, dude.
That's my point.
But, we just saw Argentina. We just saw Argentina give up 2 goals to Cabo Verde.
They don't care.
We just saw them give up 2 goals to Egypt and really 3, Kevin, because they're disallowed. Right.
And they don't care.
5 goals against subpar quality offensive teams.
And I was like, I'm going to zag.
And the Swiss are good.
And they don't, the books are just like, nope, it's an under. Switzerland won't score. Swiss are almost like
Carl Bond yesterday was with us. He said, yeah, even he was alarmed. He goes, yeah, Argentina don't control the ball. Teams like have the ball against them.
Gabe, it's like minus 140 for both teams to score no in Argentina, Switzerland.
Yeah, you know me. I'm always betting the unders and the no's and this stuff. I think Switzerland are scoring, bro. Argentina will not shut Switzerland out. I could see this game being 1-1 after 90. I really could.
This is my...
or even more. Like, Argentina are spotty defensively, guys. They are.
I don't know what it'll look like if Argentina can get a 2-goal lead and then just focus defensively. It's been a long time now since Argentina have had full control of a match, you know?
Do they pinch them a bit, Kevin, though, now, too, with the constant, like, complaining of, like, all right, guys, like, the world is watching. And for the record, me and Joe Ranieri are going to be live, Kevin, Saturday night for this game.
Oh, very cool.
I don't know where you are. You're going out, going to see Saturday Night Live tape performance at the studio.
I don't know how I snuck out of that either. I'm not.
Yeah, I looked at this guy. I'm like, oh, what's Walsh doing? He's got a party in New York. That's all good. Yeah, I believe me and Ranieri stepping up Saturday night for this game. But there's been so much complaints about Argentina getting favorable calls all the time. Do they say, all right, we got to back off on this? Like, it's excessive now. Because, Switzerland have already sort of planted the seed as well, right? We hope it's fairly called and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the problem. See, and the USA game, listen, it's great to work with someone who knows his stuff, but I'm still a little annoyed at how correct you were that the ref was going to lay off Belgium. Because that cost me, pretty good. You know what I mean? So, like...
That's why someone listening to my last take right now would be like, that's a stupid take you just said about layoff. Or like, well, I was right about, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah, I was right about Belgium. I told Kevin right before the game, I said, I'm betting under cards. I said, I'm betting under cards. They're going to let Belgium get away with murder tonight. And I was like,
usually, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes Gabe was like, oh, that's not a card. And even Gabe was like, all right, I don't know. They kind of just like punched an American. Like,
no, I got to the point where Belgium were just like pushing Americans to the ground, tripping them. And the ref was like, I don't care.
Nothing was going on.
Yeah.
Nothing was going on. Like
and America didn't respond to it well.
No.
Let me ask you this. We're coming up. We're coming up to a break in a minute, so as long as we're on the soccer. Pulisic, consistent bashing, fair or not. And, like I said, like there's going to be a lot of hot takes. It's America. I get it. It's different as far as the analysis is going to go. And let's build someone up and tear them down because we don't really know the sport, right? I get it. I think it's fair a little bit, but I saw one thing. I think it was Nick Wright. And Nick, I don't use Nick Wright as soccer reference, but I think you brought this up before. Nick Wright goes, the criticism of him is fair. He's the greatest American soccer player ever. And said who? I don't remember anyone saying, you know what I mean? Like, Pulisic is good. He's okay. Like, Kevin, no one in the soccer world thinks he's like the next Pele or anything, bro. Like, you got people put too much weight on his shoulders, man.
Correct. People are like, oh, he was on Chelsea. It's like, guys, he didn't do anything at Chelsea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. Here is what has stood out to me. But I don't know if there are personal relationships that have impacted the analysis. But Landon Donovan, Tim Howard, Clint Dempsey, Carly Lloyd, none of them put their arms around him. And all of them bashed him.
Because Pulisic is distant to them as well, right? He looks down on them. He does. And so let me say something to you, though. So Landon Donovan said, you'd have to tear me off the pitch. Okay, fine. Carly Lloyd, you rest when you retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carly, did you ever make the money that he did? Do you play for AC Milan? Are you under the same political pressures? Are you under the same training pressures? You don't think Alphonso Davies would have played more if not for the Bayern Munich presence, Kevin? It wouldn't surprise me. There's politics involved with stars, guys.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Sileo. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the ref's coming over. He's like, dude, come on. After every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, he's driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
In-game live, we're back here on a Wednesday night. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. We are now joined by Danny Barlavi to talk some WNBA. We've got games live. We've got a game still to come out in Los Angeles. And we've got a league that we opened the show, Danny, talking about what feels like maybe a wide open league right now. Maybe I'm being dismissive to Vegas or Minnesota. You can tell me if you see it that way. But I look at the top 7 right now in the standing, and I think 5, 6, maybe all 7 could reasonably think when the postseason begins, why not us show up in the WNBA finals?
For me, I'm still looking at Minnesota, Las Vegas, and New York as probably having a north of 80% chance of one of them to take the title. But I do think, in a sense, there are big flaws with all of those teams. New York has really struggled. They've had players coming in and out of the roster. Sabrina Ionescu is just starting to kind of look right after missing some of the beginning of the season. Obviously, Vegas has everything going on right now with Kennedy Carter. They're missing Asia Wilson. Minnie is currently, I believe, down to the Sun again. After an amazing opening to the season without Nafisa Collier. Obviously, they're now missing her and Olivia Miles, so they're kind of struggling to find their identity there. We're gonna have to see what that looks like when Nafisa Collier does come back and when Olivia does come back and how they work together. They right now, I think, deserve to be the favorite. I think what I'm looking at right now, seeing them in the plus 150 range, that seems like a little bit too far, just given we haven't seen what it looks like fully formed yet. But no, I mean, there's definitely a good outside shot for a couple of other teams. The Atlanta Dream have a really high ceiling. The Golden State Valkyries are amazing when they're on. They're the best defensive team in the league, I would say. It's a really fun season for the W. It's definitely not a settled story yet.
And I'm not going to, we almost have to do it, but it's not a Caitlin Clark story, but the Indiana Fever. I mean, and in fact, there actually is a team for people out there. It's not Caitlin Clark. They're not called Caitlin Clark. They're called the Indiana Fever. And they were dangerous as hell last year, Danny, in the playoffs we saw. Without Caitlin, right? Now they will. They have defensive flaws, obviously, but a number 1 offensive rated team. And I think as well, with all the Caitlin stuff, they do have an us versus the world thing, right? There's everything against Caitlin. They can build this us against the world thing. And I don't think Caitlin is disliked in her room by her teammates or anything like that. So I know it's square to say it, but they are a dangerous team in the playoffs, Daddy, in my opinion. Like, you can't dismiss the Fever. We saw what they were last year.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree with that. I think, they're also having their own struggles. I believe that they're, just a couple of games above 500 right now. But again, Caitlin has been in and out of the rotation. She's been struggling with lingering problems all season. We'll see what it looks like as she gets healthier and as, the season goes on. And it's, the Fever have a heck of an attitude. I'll say that. No, they definitely do have that us versus the world thing.
I find Cunningham more annoying than Clark, personally. Like, yeah, she's hot, but I still find her, like, she just talks so much, Danny. Like, just
no
stop
comment
talking.
on that part, but I will say I don't care for her as a person. I'll go on record as saying that. I am on record as saying that. So Sophie and I have a long history, or I should say, I have a long history with Sophie.
Oh, you do? Oh, I was unaware. Oh, I got to hit the background on this.
I wanted to just.
I like how. No, sorry, Kevin. I like how Danny. Like, I said, yeah, she's good looking. He's like, I won't say that, but I think she's a bad person. Like, that's a worse take than what I said about. I won't admit to that, but I think I'll admit to her. Sorry, Dan. I thought that was.
No,
funny,
you're so right. You're so right. You're so right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. Right. She takes care. But anyways, I'll shut up now. Sorry, go on.
No, I just and listen, all good. The Minnesota Lynx, obviously, without Nafisa Collier, it was a big question what it was going to look like. Well, it turns out
when's she coming back?
One of the 5 best players. It doesn't matter, Gabe, because Olivia Miles is one of the 5 best players in the WNBA. And proven, like my Aaron Judge point from earlier, if they lose to the Sun 2 games in a row, I understand she was in there for the Liberty loss, maybe Olivia Miles is the league MVP. I'm just curious, in all seriousness, Danny, where the impact of Olivia lands for you, and if that's a big reason, because the Lynx number is jarring. Like, it'd be one thing if it was Vegas as the reigning champions, because there's pedigree and but like that plus 150 number to me has as much to do with Olivia as it does anything else about this Minnesota team. No,
that's less than the Dodgers to win the World Series, just for the record.
That's ridiculous. I mean, no, it definitely has a lot to do with Olivia. It's the fact that we've seen that this team is already analytically one of the best teams in the WNBA without their player who was the runner-up MVP for the last 2 years. It's that's all Olivia. We see how they look without her. So, again, we have to see how it looks when we get these two players that are more used to being the focal point of the offense together. But I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. In terms of Olivia Miles as the MVP, I think that gets into like a semantic question as to what most valuable player means. And if you want to talk about raw value, we're seeing it right now. Like, there's absolutely an argument there. But if we're talking about, the metrics of production and the benchmarks usually used for that, and, overall just like narratives and everything, I do think it is pretty clear cut Asia Wilson right now, unless this injury ends up lingering and she ends up missing a lot of time. But can
I ask you something quickly, Danny, on Vegas? Sorry, Gabe, but do you, because you follow the league closer than either of us, what is your read on the Kennedy Carter situation?
Yeah, it's really difficult, and it's hard to talk about. Kennedy is so talented. We've all known that for the entire time she's been in the league, for years and years. She's one of the most dynamic scorers in the league, one of the most dangerous players with the ball in her hand. There are just locker room issues that continue to prop up, and it continues to be that we don't get the full story. We probably will never know what the full story is in Vegas. We still don't know what the full story was in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Los Angeles. And
there's a pattern here.
Yeah, there's a pattern here. I don't know specifically what's going on with it, but clearly there's some issues interpersonally here, and it's a shame.
And what about? We only got 10 seconds.
Yeah, I wish you the best.
Fever tonight. I think the Fever cover in LA tonight. They're beating up.
I like it.
All right, awesome, Danny. Thank you so much. We'll be right back on SportsGrid.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
All right, guys, back here on SportsGrid. Yankees did lose 3-0. They are, I don't know, it's weird because, like, I want to get angry. It's like, they don't have Aaron Judge. The thing is, with the Yankees, like, maybe it'll all be for the better because they'll actually then try and do some things at the deadline. But they're a full 5 games back at Tampa Bay. I mean, look, it's only July 8th, but, 5 games is not nothing. The Rays are minus 150 to win the division. So it kind of gives you
what the concern is, Kevin? And I agree with you. It's getting late early, sort of, but if I'm from a Yankee perspective, it's not like you have an overwhelming lead in the wild card either, right? Like you're up by 3.5 games.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so there's the window of sort of slipping into that. Yeah, now we just are battling for a wild card spot with these other teams. See, this is where you want to keep your head above water. But I brought it up earlier, and I don't think it's a hot take or anything. I mean, people rip Boone. You can rip Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner spends money. He does spend money. They could be more aggressive, yes, but he does spend money. To me, it's Cashman. I mean, he's the problem, Kevin. I mean, it's just a poorly constructed ball club all the time. Let's be real. I mean, I wasn't kidding. Was I wrong with anything I said? They don't run the bases well. They don't play defense well. They don't situationally hit well. They have injury-prone players, and then they get surprised. They sign aging players, and they get surprised that they get injured. Like, everybody on their team kind of is who we kind of think they are, and then they're surprised by it after. They're almost like the LA Clippers or something.
The issue for me, though, is they have consistently now, over the past few years, thought, oh, we have to just get more pitching. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I just feel like it's been very obvious for a long time now that Judge I've said this. Soto was there for a year. They went to the World Series. They lost to the Dodgers, whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter. You went to the World Series, okay? And they really only had 2 guys. Their strategy is we have a bunch of pitchers and Aaron Judge, and hopefully Stanton, because he's one of the, let's call it what it is. Stanton's an all-time great playoff player. He'll get hot, and that'll be enough. And it's a crazy way to live. Ben Rice has obviously popped off for this fantastic season. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. But you've also seen Ben Rice come back to reality because Ben Rice isn't Freddie Freeman for, you know what I mean?
And then exactly.
The Yankees should not have only one superstar bat. You should have multiple superstars in your lineup, and they don't have that. They have one. And now he's not there.
I agree.
So you get shut out, and you're not surprised.
No, I don't disagree. And, you get these players. So exactly. So, all right, Ben Rice having a nice year, but okay, you confident he's gonna get it done in October on a cold night, you know what I mean? And in the 8th or 9th inning of a playoff game, right? Experience matters and stuff. Speaking of which, if there is a team and they've just been plucking along here, Kevin, and underachieving all season long, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. Have you given up on this team this year?
They stink.
I mean, Dylan Cease nearly had a no-hitter today. They won the game 10-0. And I'll tell you what, one thing about the Blue Jays.
Jr. has 5 home runs. He's batting .262.
Yeah.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. might have used all his superpowers for that playoff run.
And they're 3 games out of a playoff spot only. They're 1 run away from everything is fine.
The playoff spot is the problem, Gabe.
Yeah, but not everybody has the talent to go on the run. I'm just saying it hasn't happened yet. But I'm telling you right now, last year people wanted to fire John Gibbons. It's been 2 years in a row, Kevin, that the Blue Jays had the identical record, 38-42 or something like that. Literally, the last 2 years. And, what happened last year? Ended up in the World Series, right? I think they suffered from the World Series hangover a little bit. They came so close. I also think they thought it was going to be a little bit easier this year. And, it'll just keep rolling. I have to believe that the numbers even out for Vlad a little bit, and he goes on a run, Kevin. He's too good not to. It's just, this isn't he's not a fluke. It's just, I don't know what it is. And I don't know what it is about a lot of the dudes that were on the Dominican team this year and a WBC that are just been.
I got to tell you, that WBC thing may be done. I hate to say it. That thing may be done. You talked about the Royals, Gabe.
Go down like the Royals. I like the Royals so much coming into the year. I'm like, dude, they got the half of Team Italy. They got Venezuela. They got the USA.
I hate to say it.
Kevin, they like all 9 guys were in the WBC and all played well. And I was like, man, yeah, these guys have good momentum coming in. They're terrible.
Everyone's either gotten injured or bad. Judge is injured. Soto was injured. Yeah. Tatis can't hit a home run. Like, guys,
Guerrero.
Skeens is bad. Like,
how about the catcher? How about our boy in Seattle? His life's been ruined since then.
In-game live, back here on a Wednesday night. And I have a question, and I'm not going to give the easier options on the board just because I just don't want it to be predictable. Because if I were to say, Gabe, who are the 4 favorites are you most worried about? He would say Argentina, I would say England, and then boom, the conversation's over. So let's just remove them. And let's talk about the 2 superpowers that everybody believe will meet in the semifinal and have expected to meet in the semifinal when it comes to France and Spain. And look, reality is if you're going to end up betting both of these teams, you can just say, I'm not worried about either one of them. That's totally fine. But are you worried, Gabe, about, or are you more worried about one than the other when you look at France and Spain here in the quarters?
No, I think at this point, I'm open to debate about all 4 games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really. Like, especially even the price with Switzerland. Switzerland could get this to 90 minutes, guys. They could, and anything can happen, right? Switzerland are skilled. They're technically sound. They're very well coached. Their players all play in big-time leagues. The injury to Monzabi hurts them, obviously, but we saw them get by last night without him. That's dangerous to me. And, Morocco are good, man. Like, good guys. They haven't lost an international match in 34 games. Right? Like, they made the semifinals last year. They're hosting the next World Cup, one of the co-hosts. We're in next to the golden generation of Moroccan football right now. They have a great goalie in Bono as well, who's he's getting a little older, and he's a little weirder now, but unorthodox, I guess is the word. But they're dangerous. But I just think France are that good. But, yeah, I'm concerned. I mean, look, we just saw France got all they can handle from Paraguay. I'm not naive. into believing that they couldn't get all they can handle from Morocco, but I think France's quality will get them through. They're minus 400 to advance. All right, so minus 400 to advance. Then we get into Spain and Belgium. I don't know, man. Like, Belgium are kind of peaking at the right time, aren't they, Kevin? You and I have caught on to this. People are like, oh, Belgium. I brought it up before the U.S. match. I was like, I'm not watching the same team you guys are all watching. Belgium have looked flat in this tournament. They were lucky to win this game and that game. I'm like, I don't know, dude. They scored 4 goals against New Zealand. They flicked their fingers and scored 3 goals in 3 minutes against Senegal. Normally don't get along, are all buddy-buddy suddenly. Just kick the crap out of the USA 4-1 right now. Like, this might be the Belgian team people are waiting for the last 8 years, Kevin. Lukaku comes in and scores right away all the time. Trossard's balling. Like, dude, like, they're balling right now, this team. Rudy Garcia is hitting all the right buttons. Doku's coming off the bench. I mean, they're rolling.
You'll like this, okay? Everyone is so stupidly obsessed with this U.S. team that nobody has stopped. Oh, Pulisic is terrible. No one has stopped for a second to think, wait a minute. Are Belgium on fire? Nobody has, for one, it's a disgrace, failure of a tournament. Shut up for 1 minute and don't make this about soccer. We're the only one who called soccer, and everyone's like, are we going to win the World Cup? No, shut up. Okay? And just ask yourself, wait a minute, Belgium have something here. Because that's what we're
in Canada,
seeing.
That's the way we look at it. And in fact, that was the thing that people are like, yeah, look, the 2 teams that Canada lost to are still playing right now.
Yeah,
what a travesty. It's like the 2 teams we played are in the final 8. And last World Cup, Kevin, we played against Morocco in their group. They made it to the semifinals. But we lost to a real team. Like, USA shouldn't, exactly. I don't know. It's the whole, the problem is, you guys, some people bought into the stupidity and the hype and the flag waving and all that, man. Dude, you and I were smart. You knew Belgium just beat them 5-2 before.
12 goals in 3 games now?
USA haven't beaten Belgium in 96 years, guys. They never beat them. They won't beat them. Belgium are good.
Yeah,
they're world-class Belgium. Belgium were ranked number 1 in the world a couple of years ago.
It was a real thing that was real. That was... Gabe, they've scored 12 goals in 3 games. Have Spain scored 12 goals in this tournament?
And quickly.
How many goals have Spain scored in this tournament?
And think about it, in the first 2 games, they scored once. They flipped the switch. Think about the goals against New Zealand carried over to the last goal, 3 goals.
I think Spain has scored 6 goals in the whole tournament.
Kevin, they scored 3 goals quickly against Senegal, and then they scored 7 minutes in against the USA. And the thing is, guys, Belgium starters are scoring. Their bench are scoring. Everybody is scoring. Everybody is clicking right now. The only thing with Belgium is there's always that letdown after. They were so fired up for that USA game.
That's
right?
True.
They were insulted by the red card and the suspension. Already kind of snobby. USA can be a little bit over the top obnoxious, but I'll be the first to admit too, Belgium can be very snobby and obnoxious too in their own way, right? There's Belgian fan videos where if Trump sees it, it's going to start a war. There's one video, Kev. It's a really hot Belgian girl, saying, I speak better English than you do in America. She looks totally
oh, wow.
It was one of those, you're stupid. We beat you. You suck. It was all right, guys, shut up and move on now. You won. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're playing Spain now. Enough with the U.S. bashing. We got it. You won. You're smart. You're rich.
Is Spanish. Am I right about that as well?
Yes.
Someone who understands kind of what they're up against. If anybody were to kind of understand.
Yeah, and the strategy. And okay, let's talk about we talk about Argentina's defensive flaws. What about Spain's offensive woes, Kevin? It's not like Spain are lighting it's not like it's not like the scorekeepers are busy with the box score with their games. There's a lot of movement midfield. They've gone defense first. Yamal clearly isn't 100%. He's taking shots from really far out. He's having a hard time. They're double teaming him, as you notice. Every time he gets the ball, he's set, once in a while he gets the ball through the box. They don't have a lot of finish, for a Spain team, Kevin, to be honest with you. No. That's what I'm they're not, you know what I mean? To me, they're vulnerable here. Can Belgium man up and I don't think Belgium win, but I don't think this is easy for Spain. Like, I think this could go to extra time, penalty kicks type of thing.
Let's talk about this for a second, Gabe, right? And here's where I'll try and make the Argentina case, and maybe even England a little bit, right? Argentina have seen a deficit. England have seen a deficit. Spain down 1-0. It's like, what? Uh-oh. I guess we have to go get a goal now.
Yeah.
Like France, and even like, and listen, France aren't scared to get a goal, but France haven't trailed for a second in this tournament. Not one.
And Spain just played Portugal, Kevin, who are very offensively challenged. And great point by you about Rudy Garcia knowing Spanish football and saying, all right, this is their system. This is how you deal with it. And we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. But to me, if I'm Belgium, I want to play on the front foot.
I agree.
I'm going to die on my sword here, Kevin, if I'm Belgium. Die on our sword here. Like I just said, we're better than they are offensively. We're harder right now. We're more skilled than they are. Yamal is 18 years old. Next World Cup's in Spain. That's his time then. It's our time now. Spain are vulnerable. Guys, Spain haven't, owned the World Cup. They haven't. They get bounced all the time around now, too.
They've won one.
Yeah, they won one. They won one. Like, they won the Euro, and they did the 2000, that little 2008,
that was kind of
2012 window. Yes, but they've had problems in the World Cup. They're offensively challenged. They're going to get bounced. I think, like I said, I'm not thinking, all the favorites are going to roll, Kevin. I'm really not.
And I think that's the thing that you and I have talked about since these games were set. Though that the Argentina, England, France, Spain, all to advance parlay that everybody's going to play, and then they're going to pick their head and be like, what did I just do? What did I just do?
Spain and Argentina are the vulnerable ones to me. Yeah, and I don't know about Norway and England. England, whatever. I don't think Norway should be as big underdogs as they are. But Norway are sick. There's something that we got to follow this story as the week progresses.
Hopefully
there's an illness with the Norwegians.
And that's where Norway weird me out a little bit, because if they're sick, and I know they're like, we had a great World Cup. They've proven that they will be like, we had a great World Cup. Are they going to be locked in as we need if they're going to pull off an upset if we're betting Norway?
Never underestimate Erling Haaland. I have.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, come on. After every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, he's driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
That guy's here on a Wednesday night. It's great to be with everybody. It's been a fun 3 hours. We got a little bit more time left here on that clock. Golden State did beat Toronto 83-75, so I think they covered by the hook or lost by the hook. Probably depends when you put that bet in terms of Golden State.
I like the under that game, too. I just couldn't get there. I hate betting unders, but it was like 165.5. And
yeah,
Toronto with Sykes out and with my girl Kiki Rice out, just too many injuries right now for the Toronto Tempo. It's catching up to them.
Yep. Minnesota's going to pull back the win against the Connecticut Sun. It doesn't look like they'll cover that game, though. We still have the Caitlin
What are you doing with the Fever game tonight?
You know, it's tough, Gabe, because this is a sport as much as any that I feel like I need like a rhythm. Baseball, I think I could, because baseball, like things are so different every day anyway, right? With pitchers and stuff. Like the W, I'm trying to look, and then you're telling me like, oh, Caitlin's not really healthy, and the Sparks like don't have Plum because they haven't had her for a long time. There's a part of me that thinks the total's been dropping. Maybe make them pay for it. We've talked about that, where it's like, okay, listen, all the sharp guys are betting under in a Sparks Fever game. Like, I'm a little tempted by the over.
It's a high number, but with that being stated, the LA Sparks don't stop anybody. They just point blank don't stop anybody. I talked about teams getting fired up. I've picked on LA quite a bit at home, and rightfully so. They're 1-5 at home as an underdog. They don't win at home. They don't really have a home court advantage. Like, even though people do go to the games, I think opposing teams, it's LA, so they do get excited. Just because, whatever, like, you live in Indiana, whatever. You're in LA. You're going to tell me Sophia Cunningham's not fired up today, Kevin, like going shopping and like rolling in tonight with what she wore and stuff. Like, it is. Same with the dudes. Like, they call it the haircut games, right? Yeah. NBA players only get their haircut in New York, LA, or Miami. This is 3 times a year they get their hair done on game day. They don't give a crap what they look like when they roll into Milwaukee. Like I'm saying. I was being real. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, you'll notice, like, so that's when you get the guys, you'll notice the guy's dreads are all over the place. He doesn't care. Like, it's like, I don't worry. I got an appointment with a barber in LA in 10 days. We're playing in LA. I don't care. But players get fired up. Plus the Fever, they're always in the news every day. Like, every day. And it gets nauseating, right? It does get annoying, Kevin. Like, I tune it out. I get mad sometimes about it, but I tune it out. But, like, even me today, and, like, this one is wild today, though. Listen, not every player voted in the poll or anything. It turns out I'm seeing now that they're saying that only half the league, but it's still half the league. That they voted Caitlin Clark the 11th best guard in the league. And I like what Candace Parker said today. She said, all of you girls that did this clearly have some childhood issues that you need to deal with. I like what she said.
Wow,
she said,
wow, did she?
Yeah, but get this, Kevin. They put Kelsey Plum 12th.
So when I saw
like,
that,
so it's like what? Like, because they're white? I mean, it's. Let's just be real. It's hard because I don't like that narrative, but I have a hard time like saying no, that's not true. They're not all racist against her. When you see that Kelsey Plum is voted the 12th best guard, it's like shut the F up. Like, Kelsey's not the best. Kelsey drops 27 points a game, guys. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing now? What are you talking about?
No, that's here's how I'll say it. When I saw the Kelsey piece of it, I went, I got to walk away from this situation.
And Kelsey's straight, too. I'm just going to open talk. Kelsey's straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Paige Becker is very popular. Like, you notice Paige doesn't bother girls in the WNBA. They like Paige. They don't run that page, right? Kelsey, I know it's not Kelsey. I'm like, what's your deal with Kelsey? I'm like, well, she's a white straight girl. They don't like it's, and like I said, like, it's kind of a whacked out poll, this stuff. Like, it was pretty crazy to see this.
Yeah, but but this is where, like, the NBA at one point was like, oh, should we have players vote for stuff? And then realized immediately to never do that because guys were voting Celtics Isaiah Thomas, like, all NBA defense.
Yeah. You know who the one guy, Kevin, you're a big NBA guy. NBA. You'll notice the one guy, even in the players vote now, because they do have a partial vote, who they hate. Mm-hmm. You take a guess. Who's one guy who it's ridiculous, like how little, like he doesn't get voted. He doesn't get voted in by the fans, and the coaches and the players never want him.
Gobert comes to mind.
Devin Booker.
Really?
Devin Booker.
That surprises me.
He's got like
he's
zero
on the Team
friends
USA's
in the NBA. Like no one likes him. Every game, think about it, Kevin. Every game he gets into it with someone, right? Like he's, he rubs. It's just one of those. He rubs dudes the wrong way. Like he's not like one of them to them. Like
he's very isolated out there in Phoenix. I'll say that.
Yeah, like his, he dates Kardashians and celebrities, right? He's good looking type thing. Like he's.
You know what I'll say is interesting.
Players don't like him. They don't like him. I'm just saying, like every game, players want to fight him and stuff. Like they don't like him.
But you know what? It's very interesting. One of the reasons I think LeBron is still figuring out if he wants to go back to Cleveland is for some reason. You talk about maybe LeBron and Kawhi don't get along, but I think so much of that has to do with I think they if they see each other, they say hi. There's a right.
Yeah.
None of them like Harden. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's tied to Westbrook. I don't know what it is, but you would think Harden, because they're all older, would be a draw. LeBron would be like, I'd love to play with Harden, and it's not. And there's just something he's not in, right? Like, you notice how Kawhi was on Team USA. He got hurt. He had to leave. But remember, Gabe, they were doing all the old guys. Durant, Steph, LeBron. Kawhi was going. Yeah. They were not bringing Harden, right? Like, if Lillard was healthy, he would have gone. But there's something about James. Like, he's just not. He's in his own world.
I think then as you see that, you can't tell if you won or lost with him.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean? Like, how upset is he after these losses, right? It's one of those type of, he's a hell of a player. He's a good player, but and it's funny, too, because Harden was the one that freaked out about Kyrie Irving, but people actually like playing with Kyrie Irving, right? In the room, Kyrie is not like a problem for other players. And it was funny because Harden had enough. Kyrie lit incense up, and Harden said, I got to get the hell out of here. This guy's too weird. Right? And
one time people forgave Harden for blowing up a situation.
Yeah.
All right, guys, back on a Wednesday night. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. We are closing out the in-game live here tonight. Gabe, you want to rip off any pending picks? Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah, you know what? People talking, there's no World Cup today, but there's always something. And I talked about the U.S. Open Cup and the Canadian Championships, and my Vancouver Whitecaps return to action tonight. And they're playing against the Calgary Cavalry, who are actually pretty good. They're like 8-1 on the season. The game is in Vancouver, and it's a special occasion. They're playing like in a 5,000-seat outdoor stadium because BC Place is still not ready for them yet. Normally, Kevin, they play their backups in these games against the other Canadian teams because they're like, whatever, it's 2 legs, and we don't know, whatever. Don't worry about it. We'll call up some guys from, the Vancouver Whitecaps 2, etc. There's a 2-league MLS 2. No, not tonight. Brian White's playing. Like, everybody that didn't play in the World Cup is playing tonight for the Whitecaps, essentially. Like, it's a real game. And the Whitecaps said, yeah, we have this game and we have an MLS game next Wednesday. We got to get ready. Like, this is real. Like, so they're back at it tonight. It's like minus 230 or so. So it's a little pricey. I'm going to go Whitecaps minus 1.5 at plus 105, guys. So Whitecaps minus 1.5 at plus 105. And Kevin reads my mind with the parlays, except I think there's going to be goals in this game, right? Vancouver Whitecaps are going to be able to score on Calgary. So it's 2.5. I'm going to go with the same game parlay as well. So Whitecaps to minus 1.5 plus 105. And then we're going to do a same game parlay. Whitecaps to win over 2.5 and we'll do another one. Whitecaps to win over 1.5. And I don't want to confuse people, but the team in the Canadian Premier League is called Vancouver FC. There's 2 teams in Vancouver. There's Vancouver FC and the Vancouver Whitecaps. They're both playing tonight. Vancouver FC are playing against an MLS team, CF Montreal. And they're not very good, the Vancouver team. They're going to, and the MLS team, it's an embarrassment to these MLS teams if they lose to these teams. And Montreal got eliminated last year by one of these teams, last year. They're not going to let it happen again. Montreal are ready to play tonight. A lot of times, Kevin, these teams catch the MLS teams at a good time during the MLS season, and they play their backups, and they're tired, and they're like, whatever, dude, we're not playing everyone against you. MLS teams haven't played, Kevin, in a while, and they all have games coming up, so they want the tune-up, right? They want to, they're taking it seriously tonight. So give me the Whitecaps minus 1.5, CF Montreal minus 150 on the money line, and the Indiana Fever minus 5.5 on the road against the LA Sparks.
I got to tell you, and I'm going to do my part, and we'll see how long it lasts. We got to win some bets to obviously make it feel worth it. But
you should be an NYCFC guy for MLS.
Yeah. No,
you're a Yankee fan. That's your team. They play. That's your team. 100%. They own the team. That's your team.
And they're gonna put a stadium, I think, in Queens though, which is nice too. So I like that.
Our boy Dane's a big fan. Dane Martinez.
Yeah, he's a part of the rallies. He's had the season tickets for a while. 8:30 Eastern. It is next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. Vancouver Whitecaps, Chicago Fire FC. What should be Robert Lewandowski's MLS debut. You want to talk about Thomas Mueller's old buddy? Bayern Munich. They know each other very, very well. That call. Would be that's the game, Gabe. There's a few games on that day. Portland are playing. Toronto FC against CF Montreal. I get it. But that's the game. It's Vancouver and it's the Chicago Fire. And they did a nice job with it because the next day then, what do they call it, Gabe? The LAFC against LA Galaxy? Highway or something? Don't they have a name for it? When they play one another?
The LA Derby, but I forget the name, but they do. They get 8,000 people at the Rose Bowl for that.
Yeah. And then after that, very possible. El Tráfico, perfect. Yeah, great name. Incredible.
El Tráfico, good call. Thank you. El Tráfico, good call. So I'm putting a bet in here right now.
No.
And you know what, Kevin? Sorry. Because it's not a real game, they're not letting me do it. There's the options aren't as much. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, we got the result and goals. Okay, no, I was on the wrong thing here, but it's not like a World Cup option with the props here. Let's see. All right, they added goal scores here at the last second. Good stuff. All right. So they're adding at the last minute here. I'm telling you right now, Brian White scores a goal, everybody. Brian White should have been on Team USA.
2 weeks from tonight, Inter Miami, Chicago Fire. It's like, oh, did you miss Messi? He's back playing in the MLS. We'll see you then. We'll see you tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Older players in the WNBA going, hey man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Sileo. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
like, stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.